Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a T-34-2. It's a Tier 8 Chinese medium tank. It's located on the north spawn of Oyster Bay, and it's under the command of Alephus of FARTR. Game on! Well, some people have actually described this as one of the weakest Tier 8 tanks in the game. It is a tech tree tank, so you can just earn it. You don't actually have to buy it. But it's basically a Chinese knockoff of the T-34. They didn't actually have any for a while. In fact, they liked what the Soviets had done, but they didn't have any T-34s themselves. So they decided to try and copy it based on pictures and designs that they managed to get together. But of course they didn't have any real T-54s, and so this is what they concocted based on what they thought it would be. Oh, we've just saw an AMX 1375 go through the frame. He didn't realize. Now you get two choices of gun. Oh, we took one round from him from the 75mm gun. You get two choices. You can either have a 100mm gun, or you can have a 122. And I think we've got the 122mm here, because if we look at the Alpha, we can see that it's actually, if I'll let me get that there, 390 Alpha, 212mm pen with standard ammo, and with the premium rounds, he's capable of 280mm pen, and he takes down the AMX 1375. Now I say two choices of gun, but because one of the guns is a 100mm, the other is the 122. But in actual fact, it's three choices, because there's two 100mm guns, one of which is the same one that's on the Type 59, and the other one is the stock gun that you start off with. And of course the 100mm gun is actually perfectly usable, because of course it's got a fast fire rate and a decent amount of penetration, but not a huge amount of damage, I'm afraid. With the 100mm, you only get 250 Alpha, not the full 390 you get with the 122. You can see here that he's actually getting good damage on these enemy tanks. It's a Tier 9 game with Tier 7 tanks in it. Tier 7s? Yes, there are two 7s. And he punches another one into the Martian. Now, eventually, the Chinese did get a real copy of a T-34, which the Russians gave them. And of course, that was the cue for the Russians to actually disassemble their T-54 and create the Type 59, which was a much better version of the T-54 in the end. So this is kind of like your poor man's T-54, if you think about it. And, oh, he's got another chance on the ELC. Fires blind on that one. Unfortunate, but it was only a sort of like snap judgment to get a shot off there. So yes, you either get the rip-off copy, which of course China is famous for producing rip-offs, because they don't care about patents or anything like that. They just manufacture. And yes, I'm not going to China ever, so I don't have to worry about saying nasty things like that. But I'm afraid China has got rather a history of manufacturing things which they didn't originally have the copyright to, and they go ahead and manufacture it anyway, not caring that they might actually be infringing somebody else's property rights. Yes, intellectual property is not something the Chinese are famous for. And he gets a kill on the Tiger P. That's his second kill of the game. Of course, the first one was that 1375. Oh, AMX 5120, one shot's enough to finish him off for his third kill, and he's bouncing a fair number of rounds. You can tell he was actually bouncing rounds on the Martian as well, and the round he just bounced was a 90mm round that came in from the field. It does have a very strong turret, very strong indeed. So yes, very bad news for the enemy in that sense. And the 122mm has got decent pen, and as long as you use the right ammo, he's using the premium ammo at the moment. Oh, what a shot! Takes out the Martian with a turret, a cupola shot, and that's his fourth kill. Okay, who's around the corner? No, not going to get that one because the Type 63's gone down. Oh, we do have an enemy over there, and it's a Chrysler. Remember all the hoo-ha about this tank? Way back, they said it was impenetrable. Yeah, somebody even left the game because they got really upset about it, saying, "Oh, it's a terrible tank because anybody can drive it and nobody can kill them." Well, yeah, I'm sorry, but that's wrong. And in fact, the Mighty Jingles did prove that it was wrong himself when he was actually reviewing it, because he got taken out by being punctured through the sides. And I think we're about to get a kill. Oh, not this one, but another round. He's a one-shot, and the enemy's capping. So this is for a 5th kill. Yep. But he doesn't get it. The VK got the kill, the VK-45-2. Now, there's still 7 enemies out there. And, of course, everyone's running back to the cap to try and get a defender medal. Or at least to reset the cap anyway. Large number of enemy tanks near the cap. Now, it is fairly zippy. It's got a 56 km/h top speed. So you are overtaking heavies here. But it's not as agile as the Type 59. That's much more agile. And it's got very poor gun depression. Only 5 degrees in total. So at this moment, he has to come over that ridgeline in order to get a shot. He takes one from the IS. But it doesn't actually damage him. And he gets the kill. Because, of course, that big 390 Alpha, enough to take care. In the meantime, his teammates are getting resets. And pumps one into the first warrior. Didn't get a hit there, but the first warrior goes down. And that means now there's only 4 enemies left. And he was spotted there by the ELC, the guy he fired at earlier in the game. It does have less armor than the standard T-34 because the Chinese didn't know exactly how much armor it actually had. And he's got his 6th kill. That's his Top Gun. They didn't know how much armor the T-54 has, but it does suffer from the same faults as other T-54. It's got a very weak ammo rack, very weak modules indeed, and indeed the crew members can be taken out. They're okay if they're behind that big turret, not big turret, but it's a very rounded turret, because that does allow the shells to bounce off. But if they're in the hull's very weak indeed. In fact, the hull armor is only 100mm at the front, 45 at the sides and the rear, so you can easily be taken out. Oh, he's found the enemy Arty. Is he loading an HE round? Well, it was a one shot and he kills the M12. And that means he's now got 7 kills. 1 more enemy to kill. And that happens to be a Super Hellcat. If he can get that guy, and he's loaded the HE to make it happen. If he gets that guy, then he will get a Radleys. And there he is. He's up there. Okay, which way does he go? Is he going to go the beach way? He's going to go the beach way. Lovely. Okay, so he's going round. He's going to catch this guy on the reverse side. Hello, it's us. And he's reloading standard AP. He decided not to use the HE, but 1 round is enough. And he's got his Radleys and wins the game with that one. Slides to a halt. Very happy guy. Well, I know that Alephus was very happy with that game because that was a first ace tanker. Yes, he's never had an ace tanker in this one before, but now he's got one. And you can tell it's the first ace because he gets the scrolls underneath the Emmy. You'll only get that the first time. He also got a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. Sharpshooter for getting 10 or more consecutive shots on the enemy. He also got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, and he got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 6. He got the Radley Walters medal for killing 8 enemy tanks, which means he did more kills than the rest of the team combined. And he also got a Leather Slaves medal for taking out 2 enemy tanks or tank destroyers in a battle that was at least 1 tier higher than himself. Of course, in a medium tank, this is. At least two that were at least one tier higher than himself in that game. He got the top gun for getting at least 6 kills, and on top of all that, he took away the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game overall. A win rate of 11,333, which is super unicum and a lot more. Let's have a look at the team score and see where he was. Well, highest damage was 4,462, and that went to Alephus. The second highest damage in the game was a Progetto 66, who managed 3,583. That guy got a steel wall and a Confederate out of the game. And in third place, we can see it was the VK-45-2B, who actually stole away one of the kills that he was hoping to get. He got 3,118 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, yep, he got that one. 8 kills went to Alephus, 2 kills went to the VK-45-2B and the Emil 1951. And on the enemy team, their First Warrior, their Leopard Prototype, and their ELC all managed 2 kills apiece as well. And he got the final one. Yeah, he's got that one as well. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,727. That's an emphatic win. The only player to get over 1,000 base as well, with the Progetto 66 only getting 962, followed by the VK-45-2B getting 953. So yes, he really did win that game for his team. Let's have a look at detail. He fired 22 rounds. Of those, 18 direct hits on the target, 14 penetrations. I think you can agree that it was necessary to fire the premium rounds if you wanted to get a win like that. 4,462 hit points of damage, of which 1,135 were at more than 300 meters. So you can say a fair number of rounds with long range. 4 hits received from the enemy, and 2 hits were penetrations, 2 non-penetrations, 1 hit by way of splash. Actually, you can see that I should take my words back, because he actually did much more damage at close range than he did at long range. Okay, 730 hit points of damage blocked by armor of the non-penetrations. He also spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 8, and did 978 hit points of spotting assist in the game. So he was well on the way to getting a Pools medal until, of course, his teammates stole away a couple of the kills that he could have taken. On a premium count, he actually made a loss, 25,201 credits, but that's mostly down to the fact that he did have to use the premium ammo, and it did cost him. And he also won 12,954 experience points out of that one, because he did get a mission completion for 10,364 experience points. That's a lot. So fabulous game there by Alephus. I did enjoy that one. He sent this replay in, and I thought, oh yes, we'll have to put this one up. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.